Hey guys, I'm back with more Katawa Shoujo. In the last episode, what happened exactly? We were still having lunch, right? Yeah, they were still having lunch. And after that, we tried to sleep, but we couldn't sleep. And Hisao ended up going outside to the track 4 in the morning. And then he fell asleep. And then Emmy woke him up, and now we're here. Emmy grins again, and we take off around the track. I think I'm going to die. We're not even done with the first lap, and my legs are on fire. My breath is coming in ragged gasps. I can feel sweat pouring down my brow. And we've only just now rounded the second turn. Come on, Hisao, you've got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Someone, we're on the second lap. Emmy's not even sweating. Somehow, not someone. How can she do this so effortlessly? For some reason, I'm still moving. She's like a machine. 3rd lap. What happened to the 2nd? Almost there, Hisao. Liar, I've got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Emmy rolls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that. If you say that, you'll have already lost. Keep moving. If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it. Oh, language. We're on the 4th lap now. She really seems to want me to keep going. Legs move, move, move. They feel so sluggish. I'm in mud, or molasses, or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretch, Hisao. Give it all you've got. I pump my legs as fast as they'll go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. Like I said, Hisao, I knew you had it in you. The anger Emmy showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall on my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding her. It's good that the word heart was there, otherwise that would have been... My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. Holy crap, that would have been so bad if the word heart wasn't there. I don't think it's done this since... Oh god. Please slow down, heart. Just slow down, stop racing. I cough and for some reason I feel a grin crossing my face. So this is how I die, huh? Trying to stay healthy? How ironic. I'm all ready to give up right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emmy standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet. Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way. Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but they feel like lead. I start to walk around with the track while Emmy keeps close to me, like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emmy laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure, and I don't really have the breath to say so. But that small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emmy takes off on her sprints. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help watching Emmy sprint. It's weird, but she's like a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's not smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder than like she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs thumping, arms swinging in time, and her lips slightly parted. She looks beautiful. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Amy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw her in her is gone. Not bad today, Hisao. There's almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that. I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what this is all about. What, saying silly things? Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. Idiot, I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I didn't know it had to be so painful. But it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest ways. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and then the third day is easier. You still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty or you never get ahead. You'll just get complacent, and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. So I'll have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful now. You know, a thought strikes Emmy and her face lights up. Got it? Got what? You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness, but you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely ignore me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I could hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this is sort of a routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly it seems that he notices me. Hello, Hisao. What brings you here? Well, Hisao's officially joined me on my morning runs. I started to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises his eyebrows in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Hisao, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. A bit shy, are we? He makes an apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy, I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole. Emmy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, Hisao? Wow. I begin to stammer that it's not really a big deal, she doesn't have to leave, but she's already out of the door and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it, huh? I don't follow. He laughs again, like he's in some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going on for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say anyway. We've known each other for quite a while, so we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. I wave a hand to let him know it's not a big deal. Don't worry, sir, I promise I'm going to be discreet. I had been wondering about what caused Amy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts, it's still a little shocking. Oh thanks, you're a good kid, Hisao. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know. What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk? She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start bleeding, or they might her prosthetics. It's a real concern. It's why she comes by every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs get caught up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, I can't talk. Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. That's creepy. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before we used it. After a few moments, he leans back satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Hisao. You didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though, and my heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape. But if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much. And of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out of the doorway to call in Emmy. What took you so long? What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just... What? No! I was just seducing Hisao, that's all. What? Come on, what have I told you about seducing my friends? I'd expect Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking lately. What? I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy guard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you he was funny, didn't I? I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably get moving. You still need a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point, and it looks like I've only got a half hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours and class hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly designed to give me weekends off from my running runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far I haven't minded that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Amy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person, and frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Amy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes, and I'd feel terrible about it myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Hey, you're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog's eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly, so don't forget, okay? Crap, Emmy's track meet. I'd better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. And so I soon find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit it, it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a sad thing, but in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's a part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn that there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or they have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college, but there it is. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rid near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course, I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads back toward the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Amy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You bet. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers, and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled down on the almost empty bench. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair, down up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wonder why I was down there. The woman laughs again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been out to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meiko Ibarazaki, Emi's mother. Oh, okay. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Miss Ibarazaki. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you've known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Rin nods, seeming pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see? It's really up to us to make introductions and the like. For lack of any better response, I nod. Miss Ibarazaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence, as my brain suddenly lurches into gear, but just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. Ah, you're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So this must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly, Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can't let it go. I can let it go, but not can't. How kind of you. It's starting. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing, even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half second behind. Miss Ibaraki whoops. What? Oh, whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking at any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten faster since the last time. That was incredible. Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out into the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy mother's nod. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. I see. Once again the pistol sounds, and once again Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh, you seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason, I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here, can you? But here you can, see? She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets into the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get ready, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as she's been unleashed from a cage. She's like she was always moving at the blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The concrete general returning to his form. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emi's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emi's father, Mr. Barzaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know? Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emi's father, but after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? Emi's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emi just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. That's not surprising considering. They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Varazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emi if I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her later tonight? Of course. Alright. I'll see you guys next time for more Katawa Shoujo. I can't even talk anymore. Katawa Shoujo. No. Katawa Katawa Shoujo. What? No. Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo. There. I'll see you guys next time.